You know, as I grow older, I realize that a lot of families pretty much put on an illusion for everyone just to seem nice or come across a certain way, but really deep down they have a lot of shit going on that they won't bring to the forefront. I think a lot of relationships are ruined from the parents between the brothers and sisters or whatever, and the relationship is ruined because the parental hierarchy that the parents put the kids in. They pretty much had family roles. You know, you had the scapegoat, you had the golden child, and I think growing up that ruins the relationship between the siblings. A lot of these things happen all the time. You have that golden child illusion that a lot of parents play, where it's like, this is the favorite. This kid could not do any wrong. That was in my case. My brother, he was the golden child. There was nothing he could do wrong. Everything he touched turned to gold. He had the Midas touch. Whereas meanwhile, me, I was the scapegoat, you know, and it wasn't any way I could get out of that. But being a golden child, it was like he was the front cover of every postcard. He, you know, he was the savior. He was the one trying to keep, you know, everything was just handed to him. Didn't have to work for anything. And I'm not gonna lie, like that kind of caused me to be bitter toward my brother. Not because I wanted to, but because it's like, how is he your favorite and why? Now I come from a different upbringing. I was adopted. I didn't have my biological mom raise me. My biological mom was incapable of raising me because she had too much going on. So I went through the foster care system. And in a foster care system, what they do is they try to keep you together, but 9 times out of 10 that don't happen. Especially if you're older. If you're younger, you're like a baby. I could work with a baby because that baby is not damaged. But when you become older, you have too much baggage. And who would want to take a damaged kid? Now I got lucky. I was 12 and I did. I had a lot of baggage, a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff I had to work through, but my mom took us in. She took my brother first, and then it was my sister, and then it was me. And I love that, but as time went on, I realized, like, wow, my brother's the favorite. You know, he got any and everything he wanted. And I just felt like right from the beginning, I felt I had to work extra harder to get my mom attention. And that caused, as a young kid, that caused some type of, you know, jealousy. I was jealous because it's like, man, I can never do wrong. Whenever she's around telling everyone about her kids, he's the main one who's doing everything. Everything else is like, how's such and such brother? Now we're the brother of the golden child. Not the brother, not the, you know, we don't even have names. So, you know, there was that golden child illusion, and that person is usually the person keeping, or you know, with the illusion or with the perception of, you know, keeping the family looking good. If they play sports, if they're good at academics, they're the topic of conversation. And in my case, my brother, he did sports, you know, and so like that made her look good. So that would be the thing that she would lead with. Oh, he did so good at this. He did so. And then now people coming around asking, oh, how's everything? So me, on the other hand, I was a scapegoat. And I just felt like that built and forced me to have some type of resiliency, because all the stuff that I was seeing and going through, I just remember thinking like, I don't want to be a part of this. This is not right. I want to get out of this. I love my family, but I don't want to be a part of this toxic environment. And being a scapegoat, again, there was nothing I could do right. Nothing. Now I had the mind, in a sense, to realize, like, you know, this is not my fault. I felt that as a young kid, like, this is something my mom is going through. But it did force me to see things from a different perspective. I was always on punishment. I was always, everything I touched, it was ruined. And that just gave me that mindset of, like, I'm going to prove my mom wrong. I'm going to prove her that I'm not a bad person. I'm going to prove her that, I'm actually good. My mom wouldn't see it that way, though. And so a lot of that growing up caused all type of sibling resentment. We had resentment toward each other because here I am trying to find my way out of all of this, and that's putting the light on them and shining a highlight on their stagnation because they don't want to stay the same, or they don't want to get better. Now, my mom, she put all this glory and time into the golden child, my brother. But what happens when the golden child is not coming around anymore and you're not able to use him as a topic of conversation or to highlight you and what you're doing? That forces a lot of families to collapse. And that's what happened. As we got older, it's like my brother and my mom, they didn't have that relationship anymore. She gave him everything. He didn't have to work hard for anything. So he didn't see the value in anything. And when life really started to happen, he realized, like, yo, I don't have mom there to pull me out. I don't have mom to save me anymore. And so it got to the point to where it's like, now she's looking at him like, oh, you're such a problem. No, you caused this problem. And to be honest, going back, I wouldn't trade my family role in for anything. I'd rather be the scapegoat because that forced me to look at things from a different perspective. Now, to everyone else, I was the bad guy. I was always doing bad. When everything went wrong, blame it on Chris. And I just had to build some type of thick skin for all of this because it's like, I'm talking, mom put me in therapy, and I'm all for therapy, but put me in therapy for shit that she was causing. And then now I gotta go in and get, medication and all this goofy shit that I shouldn't even be taking. Because my mom perceived me as a bad person. And so, a lot of this stuff just really causes all type of dysfunction. It's managed control, it's tension. And again, when that one person, the golden child, falls, it messes everything up. And let's be real. As I started to want to do better, I felt like the lack of support was not there. No one would support me. Even though I was doing good, it's like everything my mom made me out to seem like being in jail or dead at a certain age, I did the complete opposite. I was trying to put good into the world, trying to start a business, trying to do this. Never anything like, but I just felt like at some point she would be happy if I called her saying, hey, I need, I'm locked up. Could you come help me? But no, I'm good. I'm calling because, well, not anymore, but at one point I'm calling, saying, hey, I'm trying to start this business. You think you could support me or shout this out? And it's like, nah. And, I would love to hear in the comments how many people have a ruined relationship with their siblings because their mom or their father ruined their relationship by putting you guys in some hierarchy or some type of, parental hierarchy because that was her way of controlling everything. A lot of parents are manipulative, especially mothers. My mom was very manipulative. So if I even questioned anything, then I was wrong, or I was yelling, or I was doing this, or I was doing that. So it sucks because I would love that relationship with my siblings, but so much time went by. I think it'll be a little hard. So, let me know in the comments if anyone else could relate. Share this video with someone could use it. And I love y'all. Have a blessed day. Like, comment, subscribe. Deuces.